Hello, thank you all for coming today. Barristar Burbank, this is our fourth year running with the Barristar Productions. We love this. We love Barristar. We love the student hair shows the best. I do the trade shows all across the country, and my favorite one to do are the student hair shows, simply because you guys are so much more excited and so much more open and so much more ready to have that cup filled. And so we really feel like we get to bring a lot more to the table. I'm going to start off by introducing myself. My name is Chad Clark. I'm the founding father, if you will. It's the beard, the founding father, me and Abe Lincoln, right? I'm the founding father of Hairband. This idea came about through a long journey throughout the hair industry. I'm embarking on my 14th year this year of being inside the industry. 12 years of that has been focused primarily on education, working in salon, cosmetology school, advanced academy, and trade show. So I've kind of had manufacturer, distributor, just you name it, I've kind of dabbled inside of it and throughout my 14 years, which has brought me to here. And the idea of Hairband and what our goal has been is bringing together like-minded artists who wanted to come together without an umbrella covering us, telling us what we can and cannot share with you. One of the biggest challenges with where we're going as an industry today is that there's such a limitation inside of information that's able to be shared because of a brand or a label that they're wearing on their t-shirt or their heart. And I just love LA today, that's me, right? I wore that for you guys. And so we are a non-denominational hair artistry education company. Non-denominational hair artistry education company, right? And what does that mean? It sounds like church, and you know what? Damn right, we're preaching the gospel of hair today. Can I get a hallelujah? Hallelujah. Can I get an amen? Amen. Thank you, Lord. So today, what we're gonna be doing is we're all gonna be sharing a little bit of our different approaches and thoughts and ideas about what we do. We all work behind the chair. We all have done education. We've shared on different levels. Myself, again, finding these people has been the best part of my ride inside of this industry, is finding these like-minded people that want to share, that are passionate, that are fun, that are really serious about what they do, but don't take themselves too seriously. Right? I like that a lot. It's easier to talk to, I think. So first of all, I would like to go through and really invite you all to know my teammates here that we have today. I'm going to start off with my OG, with the original. You guys know that behind every great man, there's great women. Right, ladies? Is that the truth, though? Mm-hmm. Damn right. And this is one of my first team members on the team that we created before it became Hairband, and it was another project called OC Network Productions, for any of you that have been following us for a few years now. This lovely young lady here first came into my world through a salon. It was a salon booking company called Flex Salon Concept. We're trying to get hourly booking out there into the industry for renters, and it's still flowing, but that's not important. I met this lovely young lady from it, and it was important because she has now not only become the color eye behind all of our work, but she's also our social media guru. She's created a presentation for us that she'll be leading through today that's been featured at the Barristar shows for the last 3 years now, because it's so valuable for where we are as an industry. She's a Schwarzkopf educator for the brand, sharing and learning with the Schwarzkopf company, which is fantastic. It's opening up her palette. She works behind the chair. She's got her own studio space now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to the lovely, vivacious Joey Rush.
Hello guys. So yes, I am on my 12th year in the industry. I originally got my license to eventually teach, and the beauty school route was not what I really cared for. I like the variety. I like seeing new faces every day. I like going into salons and sharing with professionals that kind of pay to be there. They're not, I know you guys get tired of listening to your teachers, and I know how excited you guys all get when you get a guest speaker. Yeah. So that's kind of where I fell in love, and doing the hair shows has just been a great experience. And then to go over what I'm doing today, I'm starting with kind of a basic touch-up application, and what I like to do is I like to use a tail comb and come up from the bottom, and then I don't have to sit there and mess with the hair. And so what I'm using on her is just a toner. So it's a blue-based toner, so we're going to get a nice icy blonde, and then we're going to do a color melt with some fun neon blue. So I know color melts are huge right now, so I'm going to kind of show you some great easy techniques to get that color melt look.
Excellent. Thank you. Let's give Joey another round of applause.
So, would you explain what you did?
So with the color melts, I started with the lighter color first. And then what you do is the darker color you come in and then you overlap it so you don't get full saturation of the dark color. so it has that blend to it.
And that's it, you just overlap it and you feather it up?
You feather it up so you get a nice blend. I use the Pravana Vivids for the punky color, and then for the toner at the base, I use the Schwarzkopf Blonde Me, the steel blue and the ice.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, coming up next on deck, we've got another newer face to the scene. He's been running with us now for the last year, I'd say. This young man, again, just like everybody else on the team, has had an exposure level inside of education, which he has found now to be his big passion. He also is working behind the chair up in, what is it again? Santa Maria, California. So he's joining us all the way from the Central Coast up there. This guy is a multi-talented guy. He's definitely our urban guy on the street. He does a lot more of the men's work as well, but he's been opening up his palette inside of women's work lately a lot more, which I love because he's got a mean set of hands on him. I don't think he realized how precision he actually was until he really started jamming out with hair bands, because this guy's hands are dangerous. He is also really big on motivational speaking and talking to the audience in a real voice. You're going to love this guy a lot. The man with the hands back here in the back, Mr. Michael Wild Rice.
Yeah, you guys are all in school and stuff like that, so I don't really want to get too much on the technical side. I like to be just really realistic with you guys. I like to say, in this session, I like to teach you guys a little bit about the road, the first 1 or 2 years in the road, like apprenticeships, you know, stepping into hair, consultations and stuff like that. And just getting an idea of just a little bit of reality, you know, getting out of that telemarketer voice that everybody gives you, you know, when you're out there trying to get a job, or you're trying to talk to another stylist that you feel like you're contending with, when it's not. You have to compete against yourself, not against people that are around you. You know what I mean? It's more about passing the ball. Everybody's in the game for a reason, you know, but, you know, there's times where you need a coach to bring you in and tell you what to do and then say on 3 break. You know, so that's what we're really going to do with hair and just with the lifestyle. So I look forward to seeing you guys.
A special addition to the team today and tomorrow, a very special guest, a good close friend of mine. I met this gentleman a few years ago while I was doing my Varder staff training at the Advanced Academy Sassoon in Santa Monica. Going through the program is like boot camp. I mean, if anybody's familiar with Sassoon, it is a completely different world from anything else we will experience inside of the hair industry. But what was nice is when this gentleman came in, he was a breath of fresh air. I felt like I had somebody else that I could relate to. We started finding throughout our trainings together there that we both had a similar idea of our life after Sassoon. And while I branched off and continued on my way, Mike stayed behind for a bit longer, wound up in Miami as the Advanced Academy Director of Sassoon Academy Miami, stayed on for quite a few months, and when he was ready to make his big break, he is now the founding father of the Kingly Hair Group, which is based out of Los Angeles, another independent indie hair education company. He's been so kind to come and join us today and share with us a little bit about his journey and his magnificent hands. I'm telling you guys what. Ugh. Watch this guy right here, Mike Varela.
It's good to be here with you guys. You know, I have the privilege of really traveling all over the United States and just working with hairdressers from all backgrounds and whatnot. But I will always say that my favorite is always coming in and working with either new stylists or students that are just coming up. You know, they're just so hungry for information and whatnot. And I know sometimes in our industry, a lot of really just young, aspiring stylists get lost a little bit in the mix of things, because there's a lot of that gets thrown out to you guys, you know. And so I'm a big, you know, just advocate on minimalism and really just the purity of what we do. You know, anybody that knows me and knows, you know, and it's all that Sassoon background that I came up with, was the fact that, you know, you cannot get away from principle, can't get away from precision. You know, at the end of the day, what we do as hair cutters, it's not a wing it business. It's not a pull it off. It's not gonna chop it until it looks good. What we do, hair cutting, is an exact science. You know, and if you really just learn the foundation and the fundamentals of what that is, you can create anything you want. You know, I've always said haircutting is just like architecture. If you go to any architecture school, whether it's New York, whether it's London, you're not going to learn different types of architecture. You're going to learn architecture, the foundation. There's only one way to build foundations and skeletons of buildings. What varies is design. It's what you do with architecture, right? Whenever you have that foundation, that fundamental principle of how to cut hair, you can do anything that you want, yeah? So today I'm going to just show you more of the technical side of how to really build shape and technique into that. So I want to work on a little bit of graduation today. I think graduation is probably the most misunderstood or understood techniques that there is when it comes to cutting hair. You know, when you look at what we can do with hair, there's only 3 things you can do. It's keep all the weight, it's build weight, or remove weight, right? Those are the 3 techniques. We have our lines, we have graduations, we have our layers. And at the end of the day, there's only 3 shapes: round, square, and triangular, you know. I don't have time to kind of really go into detail of what those mean, but something that we consider round is short in the front, longer to the back. Triangular is short in the back, longer to the front. And anything that's square is even and balanced. So I'm going to show you here what we would call an external graduated shape into an external triangular graduated shape. So we're going to basically do a little bit more of a salon contemporary take on a classic graduated bob. I'm going to show you guys how you really can build up those weights and determine exactly where you want your graduation to start, where you want it to end, how you want it to fall, and then we may go through a little bit if I see a little bit of need to with a little bit of layering in there just to soften the shape up more than anything. But I want you guys really to take away the idea that there's a way to approach it with your sectionings and your basically your control of your technique through there. Okay, so I like to keep it open for them when we talk. So if you guys have any questions.
So ladies and gentlemen, this is our crew. Let's give a big round for hair band, right? So now we begin. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to ask all of you to please do this and engage in it with me. If you would like to start moving around the room, this is when it's going to happen. We're all going to. I'm not going to be shouting like talking loudly. I'm not shouting, but talking loudly like I am now. I'm going to be working in my area, and I'm going to drop it down a bit. And I'm going to engage and talk to girls. Still today, we are finding, thank goodness, that hair is going from here and it's starting to move up. Okay, we are starting to move back to bobs. The pixie cut's coming back in. They call it the Peter Pan now. Kelly Kuko did that. I don't know. I don't get it, Peter Pan, but that's what they're calling it, right? Yes. But for those guests that come in that have long hair, then they are absolutely adamant against me touching their length. And by the way, this lovely curl set was done with the coif iron by Danny here. Thank you so much, my dear. Let's give her a round of applause for our curl set. Beautiful. Thank you so much. The women behind the men, I'm telling you, couldn't do it without these girls. Couldn't do it. Not even act like I could. That are absolutely adamant against me touching their length lines. This is something that becomes real for me. Now sometimes the iron work after we set it in can be a little too contrived, a little too stiff, a little too strong. So what we do is we'll go through, I'll do my shampoo, come back, I'll do my round brush, I'll do my styling, I'll start to curl set, I'll do everything that's all done, and then they'll think, well wait a minute, he didn't even cut my hair yet. He just styled me, curled me, and set me on my way. Right? But what I'm actually doing is I'm preparing the hair to live in its textured form, and a lot of times, again, I ask them, do you normally wear your hair curly? Oh yeah, you know, I like to curl it a lot, actually. That's when I'll approach it this way. After it's been set, we all understand that the hair starts to drop once we start to rake our fingers through it, right? Which can be nice. It gives it more of a beachy, kind of a lazy feel. But we also don't realize how much the hair reacts to cutting when it's dry and working through the curl fabric, and almost after you comb it through and feel like it lost a little curl, once you take the weight out properly when it's dry, it'll actually start to kind of coil back inside itself again. So I do this technique a lot. I try to really simplify. You're much lighter than Steve. Thank you. I really try to simplify my sectioning inside of just working a very classic vertical section, pivoting all the way around the head shape. We all know this one, right? Bringing everything straight out from the head shape, okay? Pretty classic, normal. But then I get in with the tips of my scissors. I do a technique called stroking. This is a Japanese hair cutting technique. It's like backcombing the surfaces of the hair to remove the length, right? It happens very fast. And what's happening when I'm doing this today is my thumb is subtly opening and closing, very subtly, but it's happening fast because I'm moving and flicking the hair up, which removes the outer corner layer of the hair, and the more I go into the section, the more I can deconstruct it as I work through the fabric, and I have to do it dry, because if I do it wet, I chunk it, and I take too much out, and it's done. I can risk taking out too much length, and we're not going to do that today. So, oh, Howie's got all my chopsticks. We got to make sure we go by the booth and say hi to Howie. He's also, yeah. He's also a new one with us here at Hairband. Just moved into Los Angeles from Miami to get his adventure going on. We've been communicating on Facebook for years now, and we finally got a chance to have him come on board and play hair with us. He's working the booth, making sure that anybody that wants to buy an iron or some scissors are taken care of. So we got to thank him because I know he would have loved to come in here today. We'll let him do it tomorrow, and we'll have Gisele. Where is she at? Where's Giselle? There she is. We'll have her hang out at the booth. So I'm going to bring my section back, holding it again very loosely, okay? I'm going to start working off that free edge from my fingertips down to the length. So you're going to see this kind of happen as I go. I'm going to drop my elbow and pull the length back and away from my... It'll be like this. Until they tell us to leave. Yeah. Now you see this happening? My fingers are starting to curl back and away so I can keep my length long. Right? Now this section here is going to have a much airier, lighter, softer feel to those beautiful curls. And I'm going to go back in once I'm done and do a little scrunching with a little finishing spray when we're rocking and rolling. Did you hear me all the way over there? Yeah, oh my gosh! That's a trip, right? I literally just said something.
Howie held, guys. Let's give Howie a round of applause.
There you go.
Yeah, Howie.
What was that? Trip out. So I'm gonna keep taking my section relatively thick. The thicker the better. You really want to keep a light, soft, airy kind of feel to it. So the more hair you condense together, the lighter and softer your shape is. The smaller your sections are together, the more contrite the hair finishing is. It looks a lot stronger and harsher.
It's called telepathy. You just send the message, mental message to him.
Yeah, he heard me, man. He heard me dial that in. Love that. Okay, here we go again. Working the stroking technique just on the surface of the hair here. Watch that section as that hair floats up like that. It's like a back combing. Don't be shy to get up and move and look if you want to. Just a little bit off her ends. It's just like I was holding it up here and cutting that much off her ends in the layer, but I'm working it all the way down. And I don't do the front. I'm going to save that for the end. Side now, I'm going to use half my previous as my guide, because even though I'm doing condensed dry hair cutting, I still need to follow a formula. There still needs to be a traveling guide, and the lengths still need to be consistent with each other. I'm combing it very loose. I can't stress that enough. I'm combing it and holding it very, very loose. Wherever it wants to bind and curl, I'm letting it. I'm dropping out tension. I'm not pulling really hard on it. And here's where we're going to start working that stroke again on the surface. You guys see how that's happening? See that hair kind of dance and float upwards? As I'm stroking that length away, the length comes off my finger. And we're still maintaining texture. Now, me personally, I'm really into the beachy look. I like those curls to be really distressed. You know, I like it to look really loose. You're seeing that on the runway a lot. You're seeing it on the red carpet a lot. It's intentionally tattered looking curl. Very soft. I'm using a longer shear for this too. I'm using my 6.5s just because it gives me a little bit more ability to use this stroke motion as I'm working through the length. Comb it out just a bit, but I'm not losing my curl, which is amazing. Turn your head to the side for me. I'm not losing that curl, it's just becoming softer. And when I come back in with a really light finishing spray and scrunch and lift up, it'll have the perfect amount of separation and softness that I'm after without being too prom set. Okay? The prom set. Prom set. Carrie! Oh man, they're redoing that again, aren't they?
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, where's Carrie? Is she coming back?
Yeah, she'll be here tomorrow. Tomorrow we've got a girl who specializes in wetting updos, Ktrel Mitchell Jr., who in 4 years of his industry is now a creative director for a styling tool company and was featured in Vogue magazine, his editorial spread. He's just hot and on the move. And then we have Brock Ergo, who is our machine specialist. This guy does men's hair like a beast, and it's my bearded brother. He also has a nice beard, which, you know, I can't be alone in the beard. Now, I've softened through. We can see again though, these curls are still living there. They're going to be lighter, they're going to be softer. The texture is going to be consistent in my layer wherever I go. Again, we are Hairband. I am Chad Clark. You can find me at Chad Clark Hair on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Just Google search Chad Clark Hair and you will find and I reach out, I respond, I talk to you. This is Mike Snyder, Made You Look 805 on Instagram. We have Mike Varela, The Kingly Hair Group.